All right, so the reason we're back in Seoul, we're back in Seoul because we want to go to Japan after Korea, and after Japan we want to go to India. To get to Japan, we have to have a ticket for a flight out of Japan. Like when we arrive, they're going to demand us to have that, otherwise they won't stamp us into the country. So we have to arrange whatever we're going to do after Japan before we go there, because we have to buy the ticket from Japan to India before we leave Korea to go to Japan. To do this, we have to have our Indian visa first, because if we buy a ticket from Japan to India, which is like $600 each, then if we don't get our visa issued to us or there's some sort of complication on that side, then the ticket is essentially trash. We can't use it for anything. So the thing that's annoying is it takes 10 days to process a visa application for India when you're in Korea. So we figured this out once we'd already left Seoul, and we were all the way down on the southern end of the Korean peninsula. So what we did is we flew from Jeju back to Seoul, which is okay because it was only like $35 or whatever. And we'll drop off our passports, and then we'll go down and explore the west coast of Korea. We've gone down the east coast. We planned on going down the east coast to the southern tip and coming back up the west coast and then leaving. But we had to change our trajectory a little bit so that we could get the processing for the visa going. It sounds kind of like, oh, well, you should have just figured all this out and done this before you left Seoul the first time. But if we had done that, the validity period of the Indian visa would have expired by the time we decided to go there, and it wouldn't have worked the other way. So India's making this really complicated. But right now we're wandering around. Katie's just come out of a building that may or may not have been a hotel. And we're looking for a place to stay, hopefully close to the Indian embassy, so we can get our application put in tomorrow. And let's see, she just went into this, and see this little symbol here? We think that means there's probably going to be a hotel involved, because most of the time hotels have them. But how did it turn out?
She was really nice, and I showed her hotel, and I got the impression that it was a hotel, and I asked her how much, and she said 30. And then I was like, well, can you show me the room? And it didn't go anywhere from there. Like, she pointed out the window to something else, but I couldn't tell what she was pointing at. So that's the symbol for hotel as well.
That's the building with the chimney.
That is the building with the chimney, and then she was pointing out the window towards the building with the chimney. So I'm gonna go back over there, and maybe the guys that called somewhere, I don't know. I'm a little confused, but I'm gonna walk across the street and see if we can get a room over there.
How exciting is all this?
So what I think she was trying to say is, I know a hotel that's for 30. And it's not where I live.
A hotel in Seoul for 30 is going to be a pretty seedy place, so that's good for us.
Yep.
We're looking for the seediest hotel we can find. All right, so I was just wandering around this area in Seoul, and there's a lot of like food vendors and stuff here. And I met a Korean man who is pretty drunk, but he is apparently one of the higher level lawyers for Hyundai, and he was really unbelievably intelligent. And he was like, I told him I was from Virginia, and he was talking about all these authors from Virginia that I had no idea who they were, and all these books they'd written, and it's just quite astonishing. And he got me, helped me order some vegetable, like soy-based vegetable thing, and it was all right. It wasn't great. Like, you know, I'm not a big Korean food fan, but it was all right. And then he got some chicken stomachs and some pig skins, and the pig skin was tolerable. The chicken stomach was really, really tough, and while you were eating it, you could feel like grains and stuff in it, like you were crunching. It was really chewy. It was a bad experience. And as all Koreans, he had a bunch of rice wine and wouldn't stop pouring it, and that was fun. And then he helped me buy some flowers for Katie, because she is not feeling well, and that would probably help her evening out. And now I'm gonna see if I can find a hotel, and I'm had a little more to drink than I should have, not knowing where I don't know where the hotel is at, so this could be a fun adventure. So the old man got lost, and I ran into him again, But he wasn't really lost. He was going back to, he'd forgot some like fanning thing or something, I don't know. Forgot some knick-knack and he went back to get it. And I ran into it again and ended up getting him a waffle and a couple of waffles for me and maybe a waffle for Katie if it survives its way back to the back to the hotel. And just an amazingly cool guy. It was really fun.
While we were in Seoul, we decided to meet up with our friends from Gyeongdong-jin, Kirsty and Mike, who you'll remember from our previous fireworks video. So we've met up with some friends, and we are going to eat bulgogi with them, which is marinated beef or pork, whichever one you choose, I guess. And they set up a burner for you, and a whole bunch of other little items, and we're gonna eat them. See, bulgogi is like melting pot meets meets Asia. There's no cauliflower.
This box is full of baby chicks. And that's Katie holding some baby chicks. And this has got bigger baby chicks. And this has got even bigger kittens. So our friends from the UK who are living here teaching English are buying 2 chickens for some reason that we're not really, really clear on. I don't know if this is a good idea or not, but all right.
All right.
Right, we've got
So-
kids. We've got kids.
So you just bought a chicken.
Here's the chicken.
How are you feeling about said chicken? Are you excited?
I'm starting to regret it somewhat.
How long have you owned this chicken?
For like 2 hours. No, 2 minutes.
I'd say a minute and a half.
Look at it.
That's definitely a chicken.
Mike, why did you make me buy this chicken?
It seemed a good laugh at the time.
But no, look, this is like taking care of it. We have to take
How
care
long?
of it.
How long do chickens live?
We just said 12 years.
We're gonna be here for about 8 months.
We found out the following day, after much debate and some chicken urination, that Mike and Kirsty had decided to give Wayne Rooney the chicken to someone on the subway.
So we had to move our guest house in Seoul because we ended up staying here a day longer than we had reserved for. And we are now in a guest house that is much nicer than the other place. It really isn't nicer, but it's not aimed towards Westerners, so it's cheaper and the rules are less obnoxious. And places that are aimed towards Westerners is annoying. We try to find places that are for Korean people because they just tend to be a little more lax and a lot cheaper. So here we are. And this room is kind of strange. First off, look at the bathroom door. Why is it a triangle? Not quite, right? And then up here, if you look at the ceiling, it's very, very, very lumpy. Like this wall is lumpy as well. And the flowers in here, there's enough flowers to kill a person. But it's cheaper. Well, that's not so bad. Look at these antiques. That's a radio from like the beginning of time. And then there's this Discman from like the 80s style. It looks like the guy does repair of like old electronics. Just like an antique shop. So this is the end of the line on one of the on one of the metro stations, and this thing here is a bicycle locker, so that you can ride your bike to the station and then lock the dang thing up, and then go to work, and then come back and get on the bike. And that's pretty awesome, actually. It's a really good idea.
I thought it would be a good laugh for the ride home, and now I'm starting to think, oh shit, what have I just done?